What's going on, guys? I'm NoPlayer here, and today we finally got the news we've been waiting for about the winter event in Destiny. All has been revealed and I'll be going over absolutely everything you need to know about it in this video. So the event is actually called The Dawning, which you might remember if you're around during year 2. Some quest items were found in the database in like February last year, I think, and we all knew something about something called The Dawning, but no idea what it was. So it turns out this is the winter event, which is taking place from December 13th to January 3rd, so exactly 3 weeks, and right after this Iron Banner Rift ends, The Dawning is going to kick off for anyone that owns Rise of Iron. So as I've been saying for quite a while, this isn't just Sparrow racing, there's a lot more to this event. There's a new PvE mode, there's new gear, new quests, new-ish exotics. Like the IceBreaker is actually returning in year 3 with ornaments, which I'll get into. Also the Solar and Void Thunderlords I've been talking about for a while, and SRL is only a small part of this big winter event. And there should also be a big sandbox update as well, so weapon balancing, buffs and nerfs and general changes, and also you have to wait until the patch notes to find out more about those. So let's talk about everything we can expect in this big Dawning event. So as you would expect, the tower is of course decorated. It's got snow and like a new visual effect, a bunch of decorations. You can see a robot doing a snow angel somewhere in the tower. There's a look at one of the new consumables, which is a giant engram. It's kind of like a snow globe inside your head, which is pretty strange. You can see some of the new gear available on the Warlock as well, and you see that throughout the trailer. This appears to be some kind of new consumable where you can let off those kind of lanterns that go off into the sky. Not sure how that works, but that's something else you can do. Now, of course, there's Sparrow Racing as well, which I'll get into later when there's more gameplay of it. But as of now, we can see the Void Thunderlord finally is making its way into the game. I'm not sure if this is just an ornament for the existing Thunderlord, or if it's a new separate exotic altogether, which you would kind of expect it because there are actually files for separate Thunderlord weapons. So I'm kind of imagining they would be separate exotics by themselves. And of course, you also need to bear in mind that if these were ornaments, they would change the element of the weapon, which wouldn't really make sense to have them in the Radiant Treasures. And that would mean someone who spends more money would be more likely to get this weapon that can change its element, which wouldn't really be too fair. So I'm imagining these are separate exotics by themselves. There's also what looks like a completely different ornament for the Thorn, which we haven't seen before. We did see 2 of them, but nothing that looks like this. So either they changed one of them, or maybe it's a 3rd ornament, or it's work in progress, who knows. But this is definitely a different skin for the Thorn that will be available. Now, looking into Sparrow Racing, we can see 2 of the tracks. So this first one is actually set in the Plaguelands, as you would expect. And there's also one set on Mercury, which appears to be near the lighthouse, which is a very cool setting. So as they said, they would be remaking the existing Mars and Venus tracks on top of these 2. So 4 SRL tracks in total. Now, looking at these Sparrows, we can see a few of them. This is like a red version of the Jealousy. There's also this black and yellow one. This one, which is kind of like green, not too very good looking. And this one, finally, which is pure gold, which looks awesome. A pure gold Sparrow. Definitely one of my favorites. I want to see how you get that thing. There's also a few more shots of the racing tracks. You can see the Mercury kind of lighthouse themed track, which should be really, really awesome to see. Almost like you're racing through the lighthouse. And now there's also what appears to be a brand new PvE mode called Strike Scoring, which is essentially an arcade mode for the strikes. You can see 3 Guardians right here, one of them holding the Thunderlord, another the Thorn, and another the IceBreaker, the brand new one, which we'll look at later in a second. There's also the Last Word brand new ornament. It's kind of like a black and silver theme. Really cool. Also the Red Death. You can see the points appearing on screen as you do stuff, so getting headshots and grenade kills. You can get bonuses and essentially rack up your points and medals. You can also see the first person of the Solar Thunderlord being fired. Very, very cool, killing an Acolyte, getting some points. Now this one is very interesting because you might notice this is the Nexus Mind strike. So either they've actually brought this strike up to year 3 light levels, it's going to be fully playable again and also in the strike playlist, or they could have actually remastered it slightly and remade it with Devil Splices as well. But who knows, this appears to be normal where you fight the Fallen, this way you fight the 3 Servitors. But there you go, really, really cool to actually get this Nexus Mind strike finally, and it appears to be back in rotation, which is the only strike remaining from the year 1 and 2 that hasn't been made into year 3 yet. So that is really cool. Here's a full look at all the medals. There's going to be a ton of them for getting like primary headshots and grenade kills and heavy kills, super kills, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be really cool to try and figure out what the best ways to get points, what give you the most score, and what are some of the really cool medals, the most difficult ones to obtain as well. There's also a quick look at the White Witch ornament for the Red Death, which of course is that white themed ornament you can apply. There's also going to be some new quests, and you can see them visiting Commander Zavala, picking up some kind of quest and missions. At the beginning, of course, you saw them visiting Eva as well, so there's going to be a lot of quest givers. I'm assuming it's going to be like those initial things we saw in the database, visiting most of the vendors for different things, a part of the Dawning event. There's also a bunch of Guardians dressed up in their SRL gear, visiting Amanda Holiday, of course getting their quests and Sparrows and stuff like that for the SRL mode. There's going to be new weapons and gear, and this is where they show off the actual Thunderlords. We can see the Void on right here, and the Solar one looking very similar. They appear to have a different design to the original one with a kind of like white theme. So again, I'm pretty sure they will be separate weapons altogether. I highly doubt that had ornaments just to change the element and make them look different. And of course, once again, in the database, they were separate weapons from each other. So there should be now 3 Thunderlords, 1 of each element. And I really wonder if the dubious volley rocket launcher is going to make an appearance as well. It's very likely to be a secret quest, and I can't really see them saving it for later. So quite likely we could see the dubious volley make an appearance in some kind of hidden secret quest like Black Spindle or No Time to Explain. There's also a look at some of the really cool new gear, some for the Warlock mainly. Now to look at something we're probably all the most excited for. This is the new IceBreaker. It's coming back into year 3 with new ornaments as well. Now this, of course, appears to be the original or a black theme. I can't exactly tell if this is the original, maybe the lighting's a bit different. This could be a black ornament for the IceBreaker, which could be cool as well. But what is obviously an ornament is this version, which of course has these white heat sinks all over it. So there you go, the IceBreaker is returning in year 3. I think a lot of us are going to be very excited about that. So they also mentioned new gifts, which appear to be these kind of like presents that are lying around just where that door used to open for Iron Banner to the back area of the tower. There appear to be these gifts which you can open. So they appear to be just the same as chests. Of course, you open them and get your loot out of them. But I imagine there's some kind of prerequisite quest that you have to do, or maybe task. One thing that I thought of is that possibly each of these chests represents one of the vendors in the tower. You have to complete their quest. And once you do it, you of course get to open their present and you get to get the loot out of them. Who knows what's in it? Probably shaders and cosmetic things, maybe a weapon, who knows? But definitely really cool to see more loot. That's always a good thing. One thing I spotted, which definitely got me excited, is take a look at this Hunter's Cloak. It appears to be a variation of the Tanit's Cloak, but of course different with that winter event theme. So very cool. I want to know how you get this thing, because it seems to be one of the best looking gears in my opinion for the Hunter. And the Titan's got some kind of like green and silver Iron Man looking suit as well. So a lot of really awesome looking gear. Now moving on to Eververse, which of course is going to be a section of this. There's going to be new treasures, they said, which I'm assuming means new items in the Radiant treasures. These appear to be 2 of the new consumables, which you can apply similar to the chromatic jacklights. We've got the festival event, which appears to be a giant kind of snow globe engram, and also this thing, which appears to be like a snowman's head. Very, very creepy looking. And now to end off, they said new challenges, new shaders, new emblems, and new bragging rights. And there's a final shot of what appears to be the 6 Guardians loading into the new Mercury SRL map. I don't think this is anything to do with Trials or Mercury or the Lighthouse. This appears to be something to do with Sparrow Racing, because of course we're all dressed in the SRL gear. This appears to be the loading screen for the map, which looks very cool. Always love the Mercury skyboxes. So there you have it. That is the Dawning event happening on the 13th of December, not long away. And of course, I'll keep you guys up to date. Any more info we find out about this event. I'm really looking forward to that arcade strike mode and seeing what that's about, the modifiers and stuff like that. And also Sparrow Racing, and of course the IceBreaker as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What are you excited for? The Thunderlords, the IceBreaker SRL. Let me know what you think. Of course, if you enjoyed this video and if you're excited, drop a like rating on it. I'd appreciate that. Stay tuned for more videos on the channel covering this event in its entirety, and I'll see you guys in the next one.